it was unbelievable the number of fraudulent carriers that were in the FMCSA database over the past 2 to 3 years. 11 to 12,000.
They can just go up to these uh, driver's license offices and tell them, I don't have my name, but I need a CDL. And they really don't ask a lot of questions.
Reviewing your website, look at the different verticals that you support. Obviously, brokers is probably the largest segment. You support carriers, and you also have the this freight exchange. I was just wondering if you could give us a little insight about this trusted freight exchange that you have out there.
Yeah, so TFX, we recently launched it with a small group of brokers and carriers, but it's the trusted freight exchange where you know we most other load boards you can, if you have a credit card, you're good to access their platform, right? Trusted freight exchange, we're ensuring that the broker is financially stable. So any carriers doing business on the trusted freight exchange, they're not going to be taking a fraudulent load that's posted to a load board that you know you may have heard of previously, right? The older load boards, that's where a lot of the fraud lives. That's how these guys misdirect shipments. It's how they do a lot of their businesses. They get credentials of other people's load board logins, and they pretend to be them. Um, and it happens every single day. Every stolen load that I investigate, was tendered to the underlying carrier from the old load boards, right? So TFX, if we want to really eliminate the fraud in the industry, we need to have somewhere where the carriers can trust the brokers and the brokers can trust the carriers, right? So the on the carrier side, we require the motor carrier to, pass our assessment, go through our identity engine, go through identity verification, where they have to take a selfie and scan their driver's license. They also have to have a copy of their cargo exclusions on file. So their piece of load lock where, say you're hauling electronics, but they have a exclusion for electronics, we're going to give you an alert that says, hey, cargo exclusion, they can't haul this, find another carrier. Um, so that's on the carrier side. And then on the, on the broker side, we are ensuring that they're financially stable with our friends over at Triumph that verify the brokers, average days to pay and things like that. So unless you meet a certain, threshold or criteria, that broker is not allowed in until they meet the requirements, and that carrier is not allowed in
And if they fall
until they
out
meet
of
the
it,
requirements.
then you remove them.
Yeah, and if they fall out of compliance or out of our guidelines, then they are not part of the exchange. And we don't allow brokers to post, can get loads. Like so many loads on the old guys, it's like, post and pray. Like
Right.
it's real loads, guaranteed payment to the carrier, and we're not gonna, mess around with, post it now loads, right?
To your point, I think that's where a lot of the issues arise when when the broker goes too far out on the limb to do something that they're maybe not in their wheelhouse and that they don't have the vetting processes in place. And in the attempt of whether it be being profitable or helping the shipper out or whatever the situation exactly is, that's where it starts to turn in today's industry. If you're doing business with the same people that you've always done business with, that's not where the fraud's going to be. The fraud's going to be, to your point, on the load boards and with the shady people that are living in that spot market.
Right. Yeah, and obviously, if you're trying to service the customer, you're trying to get new business, and you don't have you know previous capacity that hauled that kind of cargo or lanes, you're going to have to find new carriers, right? So we have a carrier search tool function in Highway where you can put an origin, destination, trailer type, all that kind of stuff, and it's
It'll
going to
provide
give
you
you
options.
it's going to provide you options that pre-selected carriers that match your classifications. It'll show you who's passing and who's not passing, so you can target the right carriers quickly without second guessing it
Very
or
good.
worrying that you're hiring a bad guy.
Yeah, well, I think you're. It seems that you're jumping right into I think the deep end of the pool, right? To start to sort stuff out, and your processes are probably evolving and changing as everybody evolves and changes. Also, Joe, any other questions for Michael?
Do you ever envision a day when your product might be offered to shippers and receivers, having another vertical that's targeted shippers and receivers rather than brokers and carriers?
No,
No.
no. We
Okay.
we were we're here to service freight brokers,
Okay.
not shippers and receivers. So like maybe we'll have something where the shipper has visibility into the tracking, where the shipper can check a license plate to confirm it's the right guy being loaded at the dock that the broker sent in. Very limited visibility, but not working directly with shippers. That's not something we plan on doing.
Do you do a lot of work with government agencies? I mean, you're talking about fraud and theft, and are you integrating or interacting with a lot of the DoD and the FMSCA?
Yeah, I mean I talk to FMCSA and federal agencies on a weekly basis. It's not always FMCSA, but it's a lot of law enforcement agencies, state and federal. We have partnerships with. We give logins to law enforcement, um, free logins to all law enforcement. So got a stack of cards right here on my desk, but we have several law enforcement logins and try to assist them in any way that we possibly can when they're investigating some of these cargo theft rings. We will be there to provide guidance and data when they need it. So we're always happy to help out law enforcement.
Okay, thank you.
What about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when this started, we did a 3 or 4 week series on cargo theft and how it's differed since the technology boom. We worked with a couple of task force gentlemen in Southern California that were terrific, and they gave us a lot of background as to what they were seeing and what they're fighting every day. But if you think about it, there were 2 gentlemen that are head of the task force, and they had 4,600 or 4,400 facilities, warehouses, and facilities that the 2 gentlemen monitored and managed. I mean, just astronomical the amount of fraud versus the number of people that were able to police and try and stop it. It's unbelievable.
It's overwhelming. I mean, the CTIP guys do a wonderful job down there, or in California, but they're
Overwhelmed.
way overworked,
Yeah.
and it's they. I have nothing but great things to say about those guys. Even when I
Me
was on the
too.
broker side, I would get text messages from CHP with my name on the bill of lading, and it's them finding a load of solar panels or something that we didn't even know was stolen. They would find it at a cross dock
Or warehouses.
or a warehouse or in a yard somewhere. So I can't tell you how much money they save me just by you know doing their job. But yeah, they're understaffed, and we're happy to help them with highway logins so they can kind of see who they're trying to find.
Now, we had Bob Costello on. We have him on regularly. He's chief economist for ATA, and handles a lot of cross-border regulations, et cetera, and tariffs. And it was unbelievable the number of fraudulent carriers that were in the FMCSA database over the past 2 to 3 years. 11 to 12,000 in and out, opened,
Yeah.
closed, in and out. I mean, the numbers are astronomical. I think Mr. Duffy is working on getting some security in the FMCSA database, and that that again takes time.
Yeah, I mean the non-domiciled CDL crackdown,
Yeah.
long overdue, because when we're investigating, I mean, the safety part is the most important part. But when it's not a safety issue, it's definitely how do you let a no name given person pick up a $300,000 load of electronics like or medical supplies. I mean, it's laughable, and I'm really happy to see FMCSA doing something about it, putting these stricter guidelines on, calling out a lot of the states where these guys go to get these PDLs, and they can just go up to these driver's license offices and tell them, I don't have my name, but I need a CDL, and they really don't ask a lot of questions. So now they have to,
You have to vet them.
that they have to vet them, make sure they're in the SAVE system, make sure they're not putting no name on the driver's license, make sure the expiration actually aligns.
Make sure
with
they have a
their
work
visa
visa
expiration.
H
Yeah.
form. What is it? HB form or H4?
Yeah, HB1. Yep.
Yep.
So that's a big move. I'm really happy to see that. And if you review a lot of the stolen loads, as many stolen loads as I do, you start to see a pattern. All right, it's like how many non-domiciled CDLs are actually picking up these stolen loads. I would say it's probably 60 to 80% are
I
hauled
was
by
going
a
to guess at
non-domiciled
70.
CDL. Yeah. But it's a lot. It's a lot. So I really hope that we can start getting these guys off the street and their license revoked, so we have less fraud and less theft and safer roads.
Well, thank you again for everyone watching. We're going to put Mr. Grace's contact information up, so if you have any needs, feel free to reach out to him. And until next time, gentlemen, stay in your lane.